Hello, 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 and welcome to Starcraft Wednesdays. I'm sorry I missed last week. I had a cold and I sounded really awful, more than normal, and so I didn't bother making a video. So I'm sorry. This is obviously not a live thing because the game is stopped. This is a replay of a match I played yesterday. Yes, yesterday night, and I was rather impressed with myself on it, and you'll see why if you're easily impressed, I suppose. But yeah. Without further ado, I shall start the match. It is Protoss versus Terran, and as always, you start moving the probes. You ignore this little black box up here in the top right corner. It is so that you can't see what minerals he has, or army supply count, or gas, or whatever. So you don't know what's going on. I know what happens, obviously, because I played the game, but I don't want to spoil it for you, what he's doing. Hence, so no one needs to mention how I can show spending, units, unit lost, all that sort of stuff. I don't want to do stuff like that, and I say ruin it, but it's not really ruining it. Anyway, on with the game. So I threw down pylon on 9, and I think I timed it pretty much perfect with this probe. So the probe finishes, then the pylon within a millisecond, then the next probe can start straight away, so I didn't get supply blocked for that long. I had it perfectly timed the other time, where they both finished at the exact same time, but it still told me I need more pylons, so I guess I'm not doing it as fast as I think I am. Gonna start out going with a gateway, and then send this guy out to scout in an anti-clockwise direction, which is odd for me. I usually go clockwise, but oh well. I've gone for the early gas because on this opening I sort of aims towards going for blink for stalkers as fast as possible. So gas is obviously needed for a Twilight Council, so you can get blink. It's also needed to get gateway from the cybernetics core, which is useful. Which is useful. And so as soon as that finishes, send him off. I've been going over replays and looking what I could have done to make stuff better, and for that I could have sent that out just as it finished, and then get there, then build, then come back. It's obviously a better timing. And what I forgot to do was build another pylon on 14, which is what I usually do, or what I've designed this build to do. And yes, thanks for telling me. What gave this away for me, I don't know if you saw that marine that scouted. I thought, that's a bit weird, you're supposed to send an SCV. So that got me worried about what was going to happen, so obviously I chrono boosted out this zealot. Tried to get walk gates as fast as possible, and I walk into his base, and I see that. My straightaway response is, build more gateways. That means that he's going, obviously, for a heavy marine push. And this guy comes and gets this gateway out. I rally pointed this down to my ramp automatically, which I do every time I build a gateway first. But obviously, with that marine, I'm holding back, so I didn't want him to get singled out. And one thing I'd like to point out, this guy knows how to play against Protoss. He knew that, obviously he knew he could outnumber my zealots there easily, and he knows to take out the pylons. Obviously I know to take out supply depots against Terran, overlords against Zerg, all that sort of stuff. I know that, but he knows Protoss's weakness. And you can see what's going on here. He's rushing me with marines, kind of obvious when I said it. So I know that was going to fall, so I built another one there. I accidentally chrono boosted that, which at the moment is down inactive due to no pylon. And it starts ripping through my probes, so I pull them off. Trying to chrono boost that, but don't have enough energy. Hoping the probes can just do some damage here. And then they sort of just wander off and stop doing anything, so I got a bit worried there. But I managed to pull this zealot out pretty quickly. And this one's on its way. He takes down one, but there's one, two, three damaged. They're all damaged, but so he tries to take out this, and I managed to take out all four of them with that one zealot, that hero zealot. 4 kills. And so I'm trying to get this back up and working now. Obviously that guy's going to fall against 2 marines. For those of you who don't know, it's 1 zealot to 2 marines if the zealot is at full health. And then this mule comes out of nowhere. I'm not entirely sure what that was. I think that was a miss micro by him. But yeah, it comes out of nowhere. Pull this zealot. See those 2. Obviously, full versus 2 full. According to rule books or strategy guides, that should have been able to take the marines, so he legged it. But then he pulls 4, and if you haven't noticed, this has been done for about a minute now, this warp gate, and I didn't realise, and I could have counted this so quickly if I had warp gates out, but I don't realise up until about the 8-minute mark, which will come up at some point. So I'm still chrono boosting zealots out, trying to get them out as quickly as possible, because I know he's sat there with his marines. And as soon as he started destroying my probes, you obviously won't have noticed, but I masked up the Nexus building loads of probes, queued up 5, and then continuing building now. And now I realise I got warp gates, so it's 4 and 4. And then he pulls more marines. But this is the end of his rush, really. So I mean, as soon as I've got warp gates out, I have the advantage of I can get in 3 things pretty quickly. And I have the problem that I've run out of minerals. And I didn't want to get supply box, so I did that. Put a pylon down. And waiting for the warp gates to recharge, so that I can get another zealot out. I think I get a zealot, maybe a sentry. So I'm still getting gas here, and just totally not using it. I've massed up 600, which is a lot of one guy just say you get 4 per trip, per probe. So I'm pushing out with these. I used up the gas on the sentries, 100 per, and I placed the most random force field, which actually does more damage to my stealth really, because if you saw, my zealots had to go round to get to the marines, whereas they could just hit them head on. So I kind of just shot myself in the foot there, but it didn't really matter. I still managed to overpower a few marines with my stalkers and sentries. So I warp in 3 more, and most people would say round about now you could just do a push. So like, he's massed up marines, I've massed up zealots, counter. But what I go for is more gateways, and I think I wait for the next wave of them before I try and do anything. But I get supply blocked, so I can't actually warp in anymore. So build 2 more pylons. Those guys are still sitting there. Start producing more probes and more probes for mining. And at this point I'm thinking, wow, I just held off a rush. But then I thought I wouldn't have held off that if he'd have just waited. If he'd have scouted with an SCV, I wouldn't have even noticed. I wouldn't have thought anything of it. So he scouted me. Big whoop. The thing that gave it away for me was obviously when I scouted him, which like highlights the importance of scouting in this game. It just like, it's a necessity really. And so if I hadn't have scouted that, if I'd have scouted clockwise, I wouldn't have seen that many marines, but I'd have still seen the 2 racks pretty early, so I might have reacted, I'm not sure. But here I am, walking to his base. He's actually got siege tanks right now, and I throw down another pointless force field there, and then I realise G is probably a better option with the Guardian shield to deflect 33% of the damage. And then I waltz into his base and start beating stuff up, and that's where he leaves. So that's it for this week. I thought that was a pretty impressive counter by me. Pretty good reaction to it, and I've actually changed that to a wall gate. I'm disappointed in myself. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. I will see you next week.